Guys? Pittsburgh White Shorts back again with another Rush Rundown. This time we're going to go over Madoka Magica in the English competitive metagame. This is going to be a quick, concise overview of Madoka's strengths, weaknesses, and notable cards that you need to know in order to effectively play into it, all in 10 minutes or less. These are meant to be totally comprehensive, and we're going to include a lot of information in this video, so feel free to pause if I'm going a little bit too fast. Let's get right into it. So, Madoka Magica, there's basically two decks in English that you're going to see, two main archetypes. There are the blue-red Kyoko and Sayaka decks, and then there are more green-based strategies focused on Madoka and Homura synergies. It's a pretty old set. We don't really have the newer Magica record and stuff like that in English yet that they have in Japan. Once we get that, that'll be pretty cool, but at the moment, the set definitely shows its age a little bit, but it has good bones. You definitely have all the cards you need to succeed. And they have a really strong counter event, Sayaka's Wish, which allows them to, I believe, remain relevant even in 2020. Keep an eye out too, the green build does need to get reverses at level 1 to generate its extra stock for its level 1 combo, but the blue-red build doesn't really run a combo at level 1. So as I mentioned before, the first card and most notable card in Madoka Magica is Sayaka's Wish. It is a 2-1 event counter that allows you to sacrifice one of your Sayaka characters. If you do, you heal the top card of your clock into your hand, and Sayaka's Wish event goes to your memory. It's a fantastic way for the Madoka player to heal at level 2 and elongate their level 2 and level 3 game even, and being able to instant speed deny a reverse for either your combo or whatever else you might need to get a reverse for. Also notable is that they can sacrifice one of their Sayaka characters that has already been reversed in battle. So sometimes there's not even a minus to this card. Sometimes it's just all pluses. Very, very strong card. You're probably going to see 4 of it in pretty much every list, especially the Kyoko Sayaka ones. Probably the next most notable thing you need to watch out for is going to be the level 1 Apple Bond game. It's called Apple Bond because that card profile off to the left there, Kyoko shares an apple, is the first card with Bond that combos with a 1055 in this fashion. A lot of sets have them. In Pittsburgh, we like to call this the Pratley mid-game. You basically just slam down as many Sayakas as you can and a Kyoko behind, and you end up with a field of 6,500 or 7,500 Sayakas at level 1 for free. A little bit old school for sure, but definitely very effective. 7,500 is a lot of power at level 1, and with backups, these can get particularly difficult to reverse. Also notable, they are Sayaka characters for Sayaka's Wish, so they remain useful even the whole game. Next card, this is level 0. Probably one of the more helpful cards Madoka has to help sustain their level 0 game is Supporting Rule Kyubei. It gives your middle magic character, your other character in your middle position of your center row, clock Encore. So it's not going to be useful all game long because usually you're clearing your field with Sayaka's Wishes, and Kyubei himself has to be up in the front row. You can't just sit him in the back. But keep in mind early on in the game, if you want to have like Bomb or a level reverse against Madoka, you probably want to put it on one of your wings, not in the middle. Next big card, another one of the more powerful cards in the set is Time Regressor Homura. This is an old school freefresh. So 2-1 character that on play, if you have 5 or less cards in your deck, you get to refresh your deck for free without taking a refresh point. Very, very nice card that the set has access to. On top of that, when you use this effect, you also give your field 2,000 extra power for the turn. So herself and all your other characters get 2,000 extra power. So make sure to play the other cards you want to pump before you drop this down. It does have a secondary effect that lets you pull out an End of Karma Madoka from your deck and put markers on it, but no one really plays this card. It's just too inefficient to run. The free fresh and the 2,000 power effect is completely good enough on its own, so you don't need to worry about the second half. Next card is Madoka Thinking of Homura. This is a core climax combo in the Madoka and Homura deck. Really the only level 1 climax combo you could expect to see from the Madoka player in English. With the climax combo off of the green Stock Soul, this card shoots up to 8,500 power and blind stocks on reverse. So it gets absolutely massive and generates a lot of stock for the Madoka player's endgame. Try not to leave reverses if possible, and realize that even if you are running a backup-oriented strategy, they can hit pretty high numbers with this combo to get the reverse. Moving on, another staple in the Madoka and Homura deck is Homura Becomes a Demon. This card gets absolutely massive. It sits at 18,500 power, nigh unkillable wall. It has another ability on reverse where you can pay 2 and discard a card to clock shoot the character across from it, which is always going to get the reverse. It's 18,000. it definitely gets there. Watch out for this in the green builds, especially if you need to have a reverse for your own finisher, because you're going to have trouble getting over this one. But wind triggers are very good here. Moving on, we're going to look at the counters of the set real quick that you might need to watch out for on your turn. Notably, Sayaka's Wish, as I mentioned earlier, and the 2-1 Kyoko counter, which is an anti-change counter that allows the Madoka player to sacrifice a character on their field. Definitely watch out for the Madoka player's counter step, because they can sacrifice their characters and deny your reverses. The other two counters you see here, the 1-0 Mami counter is for 1500, and the 1-1 Madoka counter is for 2500, but only in the green decks. But you don't really need to watch out for these too much. Same with these cards coming up. As far as bombing and board clearing options go, they have these two Mommies, but Mommy doesn't really have a deck for Madoka. She has a deck, but it doesn't really see a lot of play. So you don't need to worry about running into these too much. And then to wrap up, some of the common builds you're going to see with Madoka, there's pretty much two. You have the red-blue builds focusing on Kyoko and Sayaka, walling up with Apple Bonds at level 1, and then having an early play Sayaka as finisher with a defensive climax combo that allows you to deck thin. And then there are the green builds that focus on Madoka and Homura with the stock building level 1 combo and its level 3 Homura combo that is an on-reverse clock shooter. So some closing thoughts on the deck. We have a Riki in the set with the Homura Clock Riki, which was not mentioned in this video, but you don't have to worry too much. Most people don't run it. And just keep an eye out for the Cube being able to level themselves up with Clock Encores into their level 1. This set does have an anti-change counter, with the Kyoko being the most popular one. That's pretty much going to be a staple in all builds. The best card in the set by far is Sayaka's Wish, and set is really good actually at denying reverses with sacrifice effects of Sayaka's Wish and the Kyoko counter, and has a lot of sustain with healing off of Sayaka's Wish and the level 3s. The set is very old, one of the first sets released in Weiss, and as such, they do not have all the modern tools that some of the more recent sets have access to. Also, their game finishing power is a little weak, only having access to a vanilla clock kicker as a closer. And that's basically Madoka Magica. If you like this video, drop a like or leave a comment down below to let us know how we did. It really helps us out. We'll be releasing more Rush Rundowns every Monday and Wednesday with our usual deck techs on Fridays. Along with these links we drop at the end of all of our videos, we'll also link some sample deck lists below if you'd like to see some more in-depth examples of what you could run it into at a shop challenge or a regional. And with that, we're done for this video. Pittsburgh Weiss Schwartz signing off, and we'll see you in the next one.